Hey everybody, it's Engineering in Heels back here on semi-quarantine. We aren't sick, but obviously we have to kind of stay in the house as well. So more time for videos, so hopefully you guys like that. And I'm going to talk about some hosiery today. So one of my awesome patrons likes hosiery and bought me a total of 5 pairs. I have 3 pairs that came in already, so I figured I would go ahead and do a review on those. I don't do a ton of hosiery reviews. So these are all by the brand Natori. I actually love their bras, but I've never worn their hosiery, so I was really excited to be introduced to them. They are, as far as price goes, a little bit cheaper than Wolford, but not, they're not cheap. So I think these retailed for $32, and I think both of these pairs retailed for around $34. So definitely not cheap hosiery, but as we will find out in this review, hopefully the quality matches that. So the pair that I have on right now are these lace cutout net tights. They're really cool. They're like a combo of a fishnet kind of net with some floral lace patterns on them. I normally wouldn't go for a pair this wild, but my patron and I had been looking and kind of shopping for different things, and he was like, "Do you want to try them?" I said, "Sure." So definitely excited that I tried them. They're really soft. Considering that they're like a fishnet, and they're pretty thick too. And I like that the quality of these actually feels like really good. So it doesn't feel like a cheap fishnet at all. It's not itchy or anything. The toe on them is a little bit reinforced, which I appreciate because a lot of times in a fishnet, the toes can kind of pop through, and I hate that. So nice reinforced toe on here as well. And they've got a lot of stretch to them. Now I'll talk a little bit about sizing. Usually in hosiery, I go a size up from my typical like bottom or pant size. So I would usually wear like a medium in pants or skirts. In these I bought a large. So this pair is a large and these 2 pairs are a medium and large. And the reason for that is I'm pretty tall. So usually the chart, I would say just go by the chart on hosiery. I've never really been steered wrong for that. And they even say here, if you're in between hosiery size, go a size up. And I always do that so I can get a little bit more length in them, because if I don't have enough length, I end up just pulling up the hose the entire time, and that's super uncomfortable. So went with a large here. I'm 5'8", so I think that the regular weight was like 5'5" for my weight until you went up into a large. So just something to be aware of if you're having trouble sizing your hosiery. As far as warmth on these, they're not going to be super warm. There's holes all over them. So not really, I mean, you may want to like layer them for winter, but anyway, that's kind of it for these. But yeah, I really like them. I like the lace design. And like I said, I like that there's a lot of stretchiness and give to them. So I even have a little bit of extra length in these than I normally would. So again, this is the Natori lace cutout net tights. I think I got these from Saks and they were $32. Okay, next we have the Natori Feather Escape Thigh High. This is part of their feathers collection. I know this because my bras that I have from Natori are also in the feather collection and the feather pattern. So if you're looking for like a set that all goes together, definitely recommend it. It's got kind of a neat design motif on them. This nice lady on the package has on the feather like brief underwear. So just check out if you like that design. Anyway, there's a lot of things I like about these. I typically really do like stay-ups because I think they are super sexy looking, but it's really hard for me to find a pair of stay-ups that is long enough for me. So a lot of times they come up to like not even thigh high, and then that just looks kind of silly. I also think it's not as flattering if they don't come up as high, because a lot of times it'll pinch thigh chub in like an unflattering manner, or at least it's unflattering to me. So anyway, I love stay-ups like I said, so decided to try these out. I bought these in a size medium large, which is definitely the right choice. A small medium would have been way too short and small on me. As far as how the cuffs fit, they are definitely a tight fit, but that's kind of what you want with a stay-up, because obviously if it's loose, it's just going to fall off your thigh, and that's not going to do anything. As far as the denier on these, they're probably like a 15, something like that, 15 to 20. They're not super duper sheer, but they're definitely on the sheer end of the spectrum. I typically like my sheer hose to be in that spectrum because they've got a little bit more durability to them than like a 5 or a 10. So definitely like that. These feel like they'll be pretty durable. They've got a nice, they're not too loose. They've got a nice kind of hold to them, which I really like. The other things that I like are, well, number one, they've got a neat back seam on them, super sexy, super classy. Love hose with that. I always think it looks nice. And then they've also got the reinforced heel and toe, which I think is also just like a super classic nylon look, super sexy. So anyway, definitely like that, and it gives it a little bit more durability as well on your foot. So definitely something that I like. We'll see how these end up wearing. My husband actually pointed out when we were taking our close-up video a few minutes ago that they've got these strange like horizontal lines on them. I think it's just from them folding on my leg. I'm assuming that, I mean, it doesn't seem like a defect in them. These seem pretty well made for sure. And then another thing on the cuffs is I like how wide they are. So they're like a 3-inch cuff, which is wider than you'd usually see in these. So definitely like them. I think the design is super pretty, and I would definitely wear these out and purchase them again. So that again is the Feather Escape thigh high. And then last we have the silky sheer lace top thigh high. Again, a Natori thing. These are specified as 12 denier appearance, so I don't understand if that means they're 12 denier or not, but I'm assuming so. So these are a little bit thinner, and they have, again, like their signature 3-inch lace top. But there's a lot of differences to these, so I'll kind of go over those. I did get these in a medium large again, but one of the first things that both my husband and I noticed when I put them on is that they almost look gray on me. So they aren't a blackest black, and I much prefer like a really black hosiery because the way my pale skin shows through, a lot of times it can kind of alter the way the color is. So they are black, they're specified as black, but to me they look off black. So just something to consider if you're like me and fairer skinned. The other thing is these are not nearly as soft feeling as the other pair, as the Feather Escape that I just had on. So these are a much rougher appearance, which is kind of typical when you get into the like thinner, sheerer hose, but these are especially rough, I think. Still nice, they still feel like they are good quality for sure, but just something to kind of be aware of. They almost feel like they could be a little itchy or something after wearing them for a while. And then these are not reinforced toe, so they're just plain old, just regular, super sheer. There's no reinforced anything. So something else to think of if you're somebody like me that seems to like rip everything that they put on. So yeah, and then the other thing that's interesting is that these cuffs actually feel a little bit smaller. So if you are kind of like on the fence on sizing, these may end up being a little bit tight for you. They feel like they will still stay up and everything, but they just kind of, the way that the lace is kind of overlaid here makes it like a little bit of a pinch point here. So just something to kind of think about. I still really like them, but out of the 3 that I've reviewed today, these are my least favorite. So I prefer the other 2 pairs. These are still really nice, but if I had to pick between these 2 thigh highs, I would definitely go with the Feather Escape because I love the kind of older classic style look to them. So that is the silky sheer lace top thigh high, and hope you guys really enjoyed all 3 of these. Like I said, I have a couple more coming, so hopefully I'll be able to do another review video of those. For those of you that are hose enthusiasts, I'm always looking for more, so if you want to if you want to buy me some, I won't say no. And you know, if you haven't thought about joining me on Patreon, please think about it. We get to do fun collabs like this one. So thanks again to the patron that spent all the money on me for the 5 pairs of hose that he got. That's awesome. You guys are amazing. I like the ideas that you give me. I wouldn't have had the idea for this video without that patron, so that's great. Thanks again. And I will put a link in here if you want to subscribe. And then I'm over on Instagram at Engineering and Heels, and then please subscribe here on YouTube for more videos. Thanks.